Man, I slept on like couches of my friends. I slept in cars, and I didn't need to do it. I could still go back to corporate, but it was something itching and telling me that, you know, this is what I was yearning for, man. I worked in sales for a little bit, and then moving to LA, already throwing parties on the side. I said, look, let me just do this full force. And I fell on my face for 2 years, lost all my money, and had to sleep on some couches, sleep in some cars, which was crazy. Mom back home like, look, you don't even need to do this. You know we straight.
Yeah.
Come back to the crib, regroup, never went back home, you know? So this was from 2015 to 2017 where I'm like, look, these parties is gonna work through a business partner of the silent party. And that's when I got lit.
What's like your marketing strategy, you would say?
So we have something called poor marketing time in our training. Most people, no matter if you know paid ads or not, most people are starting too late with their marketing. So we teach you based on the capacity of the event, bro, you got to start 4 to 6 weeks in advance. You can't start 7 days in advance. So it's 2025, and bro, we've hosted 2,500 plus events. Wow. And we ran up the bag, man. We've done $3 million in sales off of hosting parties, not in our city, but across the country.
All right, guys. So before we jump into the episode, just want to make a big announcement. We just launched a Motion and Success community, guys. So in this community, we're going to be giving you the game on content. Basically, how to grow your profile from 0 to 100K in under a year, as well as how to make money online, getting leads for your business, more customers, more money.
Also, for the Motion and Success podcast, one of the things that I realized, we're attracting a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, and people that are just starting up their business and they're looking to start growing their business and scaling. One of the key factors to growing a business is by borrowing capital. So now when you're going out to certain banks, there's certain things that you need to do to be able to get funding for your business, to be able to start, grow, and scale what you got going on and take things to the moon. So if you're looking to go out and start growing and scaling your business like a lot of our guests has been doing, I'm going to teach you how to go out and get access to capital, access to credit cards, lines of credit, loans, things of that nature, so that way you can start growing your business. Sometimes you might just need an extra 50,000. Sometimes it might be 100,000. But listen, check us out inside the community. Go ahead and click the link down below and book a call with us. And I'm going to see you guys inside the community. Enjoy the rest of the episode. All right, y'all. So welcome back to another episode of Motion and Success. Listen, guys, my name is Cody Brown, and I got my co-host with me today.
It's Io, and bro, we back with another great episode.
I agree. Listen, man, this episode is going to be one of the ones because it's very entertaining. It's definitely going to shift the perspective, especially how you see parties and, you know, like crowds, gatherings, things of that nature. So really just giving you guys on the inside how you can start making money off of socializing, how you can start making money of bringing people together and really start, you know, creating an environment where people are all enjoying themselves. Because at the end of the day, entertainment is almost one of the highest paid industries. You know, people go to basketball games, they're paying hundreds of dollars. They're going to concerts, they're paying hundreds of dollars. You know, anytime you fly out to a different state, you always want to find something to do. You don't want to stay in your hotel room. You got to start finding some entertainment, whether it's daytime, nighttime, whether it's a gym class.
Absolutely.
This is definitely one of the ones.
Be
Absolutely. So listen, guys, I have my new guest on the show. Welcome to the show, bro. Just go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people your name, where you from, and what you do.
Absolutely, bro. I'm super excited to be here, man. This is dope as hell.
Thank you, man.
So look, I'm Jahmal Walker. My friends call me J-Mo. Y'all can call me J-Mo now. And I'm a Chicago native.
Yes, sir.
You know, I come from culture, and really, my story is really interesting because for the last 10 years, I've been hosting parties across the country, right? And from hosting parties across the country, I decided to take a step back, close that knowledge gap, and start teaching people how to host parties.
Yeah.
So fun fact, man, I am one of the event curators and pioneers of the silent party. So yeah, that crazy concept with headphones. Some call it wild, some call it corny, but I call it like the culture of making money behind what I love to do. You know what I mean? So I was one of the pioneers of that in 2015, and I just ran with that. So it's 2025, and bro, we've hosted 2,500 plus events. Wow. And we ran up the bag, man. We've done $3 million in sales off of hosting parties, not in our city, but across the country. Yeah. So the main focus today really is to kind of share my story and let people know you don't got to be popular. You don't Got to be the Mr. It person. It ain't about charisma or being attractive. It's about knowing the art and the business of hosting parties. So yeah, man, that's why I'm here today, man, is to kind of break it all down and kind of tell my story.
Nice, man.
That right there is dope. You know what I mean? Because even like, you know, hearing that, it's a lot of science and things that go into, like, a lot of people think they could just throw a party and people gonna show up. It's like a lot of science and things that go into to creating a lit party.
For sure.
From the marketing to, you know, making sure people show up, all of those things. Like, so what got you into that scene? Like, was you partying a lot when you was younger?
Yeah. I'm glad. And you made me laugh on that. But look, shout out to my moms and shout out to really 2 to 3 other people. So growing up, I grew up in a 2-parent household, and my mom took us from the inner city to the suburbs. Right? I'm not afraid to tell people that. And when we was in the suburbs, my mom was like, she was that mom who was like, look, instead of you being out in the street, man, you could bring the party to the house. Like, y'all can be creative in the crib.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Chicago's already known for footworking. I don't know if y'all know about footworking. It's like a fast jit type of move with beats and music. And man, my crib was the crib, like the house. My crib was like where you get lit, and the parents knew my mom, and everybody, like hundreds and hundreds of kids would be like, look, Friday and Saturday at Jahmal house is going down. Wow. And my mom wouldn't mind because she knew we was safe. She knew it wasn't like, you know, no violence. She knew it wasn't any bullshit going on. So we was just in the basement dancing and playing music from 12 to like 15, 16 years old. And my parents were really cool with us being creative. I really think that that's where it started with me, like, just loving to get people together, loving community, loving people changing their mood and their atmosphere off of music. You feel me? So that's what my love of getting people together and curating came from, was just really house parties when I was young and footworking.
Yeah.
I had a close friend, it was my best friend, who taught me how to footwork. And again, that's like, y'all do y'all research. House music originated in Chicago. That's when people like really know how to move and groove behind dancing. So, man, we used to, outside of the parties when mom would like enjoy us and like let us do that, we used to sneak to the city and then go really study the people who was hosting the footworking parties and stuff like that. And that graduated to me like going to SIU. That was a university in Chicago, like five hours away from Chicago. Graduated there, but there I was best friends with 2 people, and those 2 people shaped the way I looked at entertainment too. One guy, he hosted the first Drake concert, and when I say first Drake concert, I mean first Drake concert in the States. Right? This is one guy happened to be my best friend. Right? His name is Brandon Wynn. So he was a Kappa, and the Kappa's
they got that shimmy.
Yeah, they got that shimmy, but they ran the yard. You know what I mean? So I was like, nah, I'm not going to go the route of joining the fraternity, but I am going to study how they threw this big ass concert, right? So it's all these things of how my mom was able to help me be creative. And what's cool, she wasn't super strict. I mean, look, she demanded good grades. She told me I couldn't be wild and I couldn't have no baby. I couldn't smoke in the crib and nothing like that. But as far as the weekend, she was like, yo, have fun.
Yeah.
You live this life one time. Went to school. I went to their alma mater where my parents met again Brandon Wynn. Shout out to Brandon Wynn. And he was a part of the committee that brought Drake to SIU. Do your research. Y'all could Google it. His first concert in the States. Then fast forward 2 years later, another one of my best friends, his name is Script. He's
nice name.
Yeah, his name is Script. Yeah, he writes the script. Him and me and 2 other guys, we hosted the first Kendrick Lamar concert in Chicago. So I got a lot of history of bringing people together, whether it's like being close to Chance the Rapper or Chief Keef management. Like, my ties to Chicago music and culture are there. So it's no wonder, it's not a study. It's not like a happenstance on why I love to throw parties, because I've always been around culture, community, concerts, music, vibes. I've always been around it, whether it's helping, whether it's like my mans did it and I put some money up on it, you know what I mean? Whether it's my idea, but from the Drakes to the Kendrick Lamars to the house parties, that shaped me into who I was to just start throwing my own events.
So what's the science behind hosting an event? Like, what makes a good event? Like, is it the DJ, the person who's gonna walk through for the night? Is it the bottle girls, or what makes a poppin' party, like vibes and everything? People get back home safe.
That's a good ass question. So look, a lot of people don't understand that the science of it is really knowing if you're solving a problem for the right people.
Yeah.
Most promoters, they just start off wrong. Right.
What's the problem?
So the problem is really they don't know who they're talking to. They're promoting a party to everybody. Yeah. And if you're promoting a party to everybody, you're promoting a party to nobody. You feel me? So when you're promoting the right party, you already know your niche, right? You already know who you're speaking to, who's going to respond, what you're answering. You need to answer the right questions to your people, right? And you need to know how to find your people. Yeah. Some people jump off the porch and just think that everybody's going to come. So I didn't build creativity into it. I didn't build exclusivity into it. I didn't create the right thing. So the answer, bro, is just like, you got to have the right thing, the right sauce. You got to know if you're talking to the right people, and then you got to talk to them the right way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what we teach you in my new program called the Event Cheat Codes is, look, don't start off thinking that this is a popularity contest and you just going to share a flyer. Right? You need to make sure that you are studying the business of it and loving on the people on the way to do it. So you got to have a creative theme and only speak to backpackers, or you got to only speak to 9-to-5ers who need happy hour, or you got to only speak to those who want the Afrobeat vibe. What's going on, family? I know you are enjoying this episode of Motion and Success. Today we're talking about the event cheat codes, and you deserve to sell out your next event. What I notice is a lot of people want to copy and paste their way to success, but you need and deserve to be like our last student who did $17,000 after his second event. So I decided to host a free boot camp, right, this Thursday, where you're going to learn how to sell out your next event. All right, go to themillenniumacademy.com so you can sell out your next event. I'll see you there. Come grab a free seats. Seats are limited. Let's get it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, again, you can't just throw a party and expect all 5 or 10 of us in the room right now to come to that party. You got to speak to the people who really, really want to come to that damn party. And you got to figure that out by knowing your market.
That's true. If you go to an Afro Beats party, you're going to see all the Africans in the spot. If you go to a party, a Jamaican or a dance hall party, a reggae party, all the Jamaicans with the tight ass jeans and the clocks, they're going to be in the spot. You got the backyard parties with all the youngins, you know, all the young people.
Some of the top event promoters, they knew they had to master their first lane, right? They had to master a specific lane to grow. Just like any artist or any business, they don't start out by owning multiple businesses at once. They start out by mastering at once. So with me, it was the silent events. Then we grew after the pandemic to hosting the #1 brunch in LA called Brunches Bay and Lollipop.
Brunches Bay and Lollipop.
Yeah. So I got some crazy wild stories about that, but it's just a testament of understanding that you got to grow your following and master one lane. And that's what we teach with the event cheat codes. Like, you don't even have to be super popular to learn the event cheat codes, because we're going to teach you exactly how to do the strategy behind hosting events.
No, that's dope. You know, you out here giving the game, teaching people how they could throw a successful event and, make it lit, basically. So I want to know from your view, how has like the party scene changed? Because, today, like, a lot of people are saying like, yo, partying isn't the same. Like, you go to a party, it's like you don't really got a dance floor. It's like you got tables and chairs.
Yeah, that section culture.
Yeah, it's section culture is crazy right now.
Make you feel like you ain't got no money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I know it's money in sections, but what's your view on it? Do you think it killed the party scene, or do you think it's like a good way to make more money? Especially hosting events.
Nah, I think it could go back and forth. Like, I think yes. It definitely changed the culture when people only focus on sections. Because, again, back where I'm from and where I came up to learn events, learn music, the real parties is in people dancing, people bumping into you. Why I learned how to party is us like being nervous to go get behind a girl.
Yeah.
Right? You was nervous, like, yo, something like, yo, bro, hold me up. Like, I know y'all know about that. I don't have to ask you.
Oh my God. Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's why I've been able to win behind hosting events, is because you got to think about the nostalgia of why people care, like why you just smile like that, like, yo, because you remember you did that.
That's
You remember that you used to wear Jabos or academics, or you know what I mean, so you could throw a party and kind of specify that type of lane, specify that type of culture, you know what I mean? So I think yes, it did change, but the people who win, they talk about the nostalgia of what people want to remember, like what people really care about. And I think that most of the people really still want to dance. Most of the people still want an experience. You know what I mean? You ain't getting that big experience if you just going to the club and popping a bottle. Yeah, you know what I mean? You just trying to get lit, holler at some chicks might be trying to holler at you. That's that. But most people, they still yearn for that. All right, cool. Rick Ross performed. It was a crazy photo booth. They gave out shots that was in teapots. Like, I've experienced something like that. That's why I'm saying it like that. But like, you remember shit like that. So those are the events that I want to teach people how to host, because then that's when you stand out. You feel me?
I agree. I'm glad you kind of broke it down like that, because I had to ask it, because I'm like, yo, like, partying nowadays has really changed. Like, and a lot of people was like, they losing, especially in Atlanta. I'm hearing in Atlanta, the nightlife is dying, like a whole bunch of stuff. So to see people out there, they're still trying to be creative, still trying to make it lit, still trying to think outside the box. You know, that's good to hear, bro.
Yeah, that's when you can last long, bro.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So, when did you figure out like the money side of hosting parties and events? Like, when did you figure out like, yo, it's really some real money in this?
When I failed. Yeah, when I failed, man, back so like I said, went to SIU in Chicago. Shout out my mentor Dion Coopwood. He went to the same school I went to. And after I left there, spent some time in DC doing market research on the culture, man. And some of my first clubs was Club Love in Park on 15th. And then I moved to Cali. Moved to Cali, and I was like, all right, cool, I think I got it now. Again, like, all my friends is lit. They throwing major concerts, right? And I moved from the Midwest back to LA for the first time, to LA for the first time with my brother Dom. And I'm like, look, forget going corporate. I'm going to go after my dreams. I start hosting parties, and I immediately, no matter what my resources were, again, I got a really lit network of people who hosting events and hosting big parties. Fell on my face for about a year and a half, man. Like, I remember having some sustainability before I moved to LA, and then that shit just went away, bro. That shit was just like, LA would just eat you up, because LA is like a city where you either got it or you don't. You know what I mean? Ain't too much networking. You either throwing a lit party or you not. So I remember staying in this lit ass building, and the difference after a year and a half was me tapping into a mentor. You know, tapping into the environment where I needed to ask other people who've already been there. So before that, man, I slept on like couches of my friends. I slept in cars, and I didn't need to do it. I could still go back to corporate, but it was something itching and telling me that, you know, this is what I was yearning for, man. I remember sleeping in hostels and all that type of stuff.
Wait, what's hostels?
Yeah, hostel is like, it's basically like a one-night hotel. Yeah,
okay.
It's like for foreigners. Yeah, for like people coming out of town, instead of staying in like a cheap motel.
Okay.
Yeah, and people, it's like a bunch of people staying in like kind of like group rooms and shit like that. So
Really?
yeah, so that shit was a low point for me with having a degree. You know what I mean? I had a degree. I worked in sales for a little bit, and then moving to LA, already throwing parties on the side. I said, look, let me just do this full force. And I fell on my face for 2 years, lost all my money, and had to sleep on some couches, sleep in some cars, which was crazy. Mom back home like, look, you don't even need to do this. You know we straight.
Yeah.
Come back to the crib, regroup, never went back home, you know? So this was from 2015 to 2017 where I'm like, look, these parties is going to work. Till I found the concept through a business partner of the silent party. And that's when I got lit. That's when it changed, when I threw my first party in LA, and my first party was somewhat successful. Second party was somewhat successful. And then the next 3 to 5 was like duds, like nobody there, right? Got a mentor. And start figuring out, it's all about timing. It's all about hosting the right events with the right DJs. And it's all about really kind of learning the event cheat codes. We'll get in later. After that, man, I made really good money from like my 6 or 7 party. And I realized that like I need to dial this back and take a big risk. So I'm like, look, if I could do this here in LA and I'm not from LA, chances are I could do this back home. Right? And why don't I try to do this back home without being there? Right? So
smart idea.
Yeah.
Smart idea.
Yeah. So I started hosting parties sight unseen. I call it a method called sight unseen, where I set up the infrastructure with other promoters and other staff members, right? And I just share the pot. It's that simple. It's a JV deal where I just share the pot. So it took me 2 years to really figure out a formula that I bottled up, and I'm helping people in 60 days master. And like my 6th or 7th event, it was up. Like I started hosting parties in LA as an event producer and doing the same thing back home and never going back home. So you got 4,000 or 5,000 in LA, 4,000 or 5,000 in Chicago, same night, same party.
That's crazy.
Right? And from there, I just grew it, man. From there, I'm just like, look, if I could do this, and with the silent equipment, with this silent party, a different brand, if I could do this here, chances are I could scale this across the country. And that's what I did.
So now let me ask you a question now. So when it goes to throwing a party, you throwing a party in New York, you throwing a party in Chicago, you throwing a party in LA, what goes in, like, what's the moving parts into throwing a party? Like, what's the 5 things that you always looking at to be able to throw a successful party and still be able to make money even if you're not there?
For sure. It's really easy, and I'll bottle it up in the event cheat codes. So the 3 to 5 things are, one is sales. Yeah, one is sales. Like, just be honest with each other, man. Like, everything's about sales.
All right, so let me ask you guys a real quick question before we move forward any further in this episode. So listen, are you guys struggling with bad credit? Are you guys struggling with credit repair? Or are you struggling with getting funding? So now, if you answered yes to any of those questions, me and the Motion and Success team went ahead and created a community where we're showing you in depth and showing you exactly how to go out and repair your credit without having to hire a credit repair company and spending $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 and still have a chance of not getting any results. I'm going to show you how to use AI to repair your credit. Number 2, if you're lacking having a strong credit report, I'm going to show you exactly what to do, where to go, and how to build up a strong profile. And number 3, if you're looking to go out and get funding to go ahead and buy equipment for your business, expand your business, get working capital, hire employees, I'm going to show you exactly where to go to get the funds to grow and scale your business. So if you want to have some motion and success for your business, motion and success for your family, come ahead and join us home. And I'm going to see you guys inside the community. Go ahead and click the link down below. Now let's get back to the episode.
Right. You either buying or getting sold. Most people, they don't like to be sold. So we make our marketing really easy and our ticketing really easy for people to feel like, man, I got a deal. This is a deal. I can't pass this out, right? This ain't a section culture type of party, but a 2-for-1 at this price, food and drinks at this price. So it's sales, it's marketing.
What's like your marketing strategy, you would say? Is it Eventbrite, when it ads?
Marketing is a mix between organic marketing and paid marketing. But in 2025, you have to be an expert at paid ads. Like, you have to understand that it's more than just boosting a flyer or boosting some content. You know what I mean? And it takes you to understand that marketing is all about getting in front of the right people with the right product and solving their problem with that right product, but also doing it at the right time. So we have something called poor marketing timing in our training, where most people, no matter if you know paid ads or not, most people are starting too late with their marketing. So we teach you based on the capacity of the event. Bro, you got to start 4 to 6 weeks in advance. You can't start 7 days in advance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we teach you the right way to host your paid ads or program your paid ads 4 to 6 weeks in advance with the right ticketing structure. Instead of it being one ticket link, we teach you, or one ticket tier, which is one GA ticket, one G8 ticket, the name of the event, we teach you how to do early bird tickets, do almost sold out tickets, right? Last call, almost sold out. We teach you how to really get creative with the ticketing so that people feel the urgency. Almost like a plane ticket. Like, look, get this motherfucker now. Because tomorrow,
3 hours later, it's 100 plus. Yeah.
So the sales, the marketing, right? The branding is really important too.
So like the name behind it.
Yeah.
Motion is success.
Yes. It's not just
VIP or whatever the name is.
It has to come off authoritative, right?
Yeah.
And part of our brand is hosting events as event series. So we don't want to just host events as a one-off. Then that makes you look like you don't know what you're doing. If you just host one event or less trustworthy, you know what I mean? So we host events in threes, and we teach our clients, like, look, you need to host your events in threes because it gives people more options in advance to rock with you, to book with you. Large parties, it gives you time to cook with your ads because people might not be buying your tickets for this one, but they buying your tickets for the next one. So those type of branding tactics mixed with sales and marketing, and then target audience, where you need to find it. Like, learning how to find your target audience is gold. Again, if you market it to everybody, you're not marketing to nobody. So you need to know how to do your market research. I'll give y'all a play. So one of the main ways that we find our market research effective is we teach our students to go to other parties. You know, you ever heard of the term pay how you weigh? You ever heard of the term, like, you can't sell anything if you didn't experience it already?
Yep.
Right? So we tell our students, like, find your niche, find your competitor, go to 3 to 5 of their parties, pay to get in, get on their email list, and study that shit.
Damn.
Right? You know what I mean? And if you study that, you'll get game from other people.
Yeah.
And you'll understand what they had to offer. And then you just need to double that up. You need to offer more value.
Yeah.
You might not have been thinking, okay, let's give them that type of value. You might not have been thinking like this type of experience when you check in, this type of host. But if you experience your competitor's party, now you know, oh, damn, I wasn't even thinking like that. I got to level up. Right? And then the last thing I'll give you, bro, is collaboration, bro. Collabing, bro. That really got me into the game. That's my favorite piece of the game, is collabing. Partnerships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've had a JV deal with hundreds of event promoters. Hundreds. So I'm not a selfish person. I'm all for, like, yeah, community and people partying, but community and other promoters being like, yeah, damn, J-Mo, I made some real money with him at the end of the year. Right? And I love partnerships because y'all both taking a risk together, right? Y'all sharing the risk. But not only, like, we sharing value and resources.
Right.
So you might have a venue that I couldn't get because of your charisma, because of your connections, right? You might have had that. You might know marketing a little bit better than me.
Yeah.
Right? But I know how to get a sponsor.
Right.
Right? You know what I mean? I know all the attractive bottle girls to book. You know what I mean? So partnerships in the beginning of your event journey and learning how to structure those partnerships, which we teach you in the event cheat codes, is gold. It's a game changer, because then you build that confidence too. Like, damn, all right, I kind of know what I'm doing. I ain't losing money no more, right? And whole time you partnering with someone else, and you guys are putting in equal effort to make the event win.
Wow.
So, you about to ask for?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that makes a lot of sense. Because I'm even thinking, like, leading up to the party, it takes like a lot of psychology on the planning side. Like, it's a lot, because even me, when I'm probably spending a weekend somewhere, maybe Miami, maybe Atlanta, I'm looking for, like, what's lit. One of the things I look at is the genre of the party. You know what I mean? Like, what type of party is it? And, you know, most of all is, like, you know, even the ratio to the party. Like, how if it's a whole bunch of guys going, you know, that's probably gonna be
what's my interest,
a
like,
big skip. So it's like, how much thought do you put into that side? Like, you making sure, like let's say you want mostly women to pop out, or you want mostly because a lot of times even between races, the parties is very different. Like,
that's
even between. So how do you target the right audience and you know, get people to turn out from both sides, men and women?
For sure, bro. it's all about the content you create, and it boils down to the marketing. So our audience has always been women, right? And I think that if you're a curator, you just got to figure out what your bag is. It speed dating, right? Is it Afrobeats and R&B? Is it a brunch? Is it trap events? Whatever it is, you know what I mean? And you got to come up with a theme that resonates with your audience. But if we really want to get people to really tap in, we got to throw something that people care about, right? We got to be creative. And that all goes down to your marketing. So within these ads, you got to do this thing called advanced targeting. And inside of an ad, you got to put in like hip hop, girls night out, R&B, Afro beats, right? You have to put that detailed targeting, but you also can't make the ad too broad. You know what I mean? You don't need to go like 50 miles out. I always go between 20 to 30 miles out of the event address. And I just throw in the details of what my target audience really cares about, right? And for me, it's always been hip hop, trap, a girls night out, parties, interested in upcoming events. And if you've already bottled that with a creative thing and you know who you're targeting with the content, again, the content can't just be a flyer now. It just cannot be a flyer. We noticed that 90% of the events do a lot better with our advertising if it's a lit video. And sometimes it's a cell phone video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to teach people, like, you know, you got to get after it with a partner that understands, like, look, we just finna jump off the porch, but in a strategic way. And we got to have good content before we market.
You want to know what's so funny? Sometimes when you go to certain spots, they be like, girls might be posting on their story, right?
Yeah.
And they posting only the lit part. As soon as you get there, everybody's scrolling on their phones.
Right.
The party is dead.
Yeah. You don't want a flat event.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, how do you prevent like a situation like that where people are on their phones, they just scrolling, everybody mouth dry, they waiting for the the drinks to come out. It happens, you know what I mean? Like, I remember one time I went to a party, bro. We sitting in a section. All the girls' mouth is dry. They like, yo, I want something to drink. They start scrolling on their phones. And I'm pretty sure as an event planner or a promoter, that's probably one of your biggest concerns, or is it?
No, definitely. Like, you could get a bunch of people in the room, but how they responding is totally different, right? It's all in how you set up the night, and it's all in, like, so event promoters need to know how to stack the night. You know what I mean? You need to have a host. You need to have specials running through the night. You also need to have, like, a lot of event producers don't throw themed events where people dress up. You dressing up in a specific costume or whatever like that, or a 90s vibe. But the real answer is that, like, it all starts with your marketing. It all starts with, like, you can't throw a regular party and expect extraordinary results. So you gotta, like, tell the people how to respond. You gotta tell them what they getting themselves into. Tell them why your party is different from the next bar, lounge, or club. And you just guiding them into a vibe. You know what I mean? But yes, during the vibe, it gotta be a host.
Right.
Male or female. It gotta be a DJ talking on a mic. It gotta be multiple specials that's going on. It can't just be you threw a party, you brought out 400 or 500 people, and they just expect people to dance and all that type of stuff. Last thing too, bro, DJs run the whole culture of party.
They do.
Like, literally, like, all, like, it's crazy. The right DJ will turn you up, and the wrong DJ
Could bring you down.
Not only bring you down, it could crush your whole brand. It could kill your whole brand. It could kill, like, your next 3-4 parties could be done if the DJ didn't move the people. Right? Some of my DJs, like, are my best friends because they really understand the science of the party.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people that keep the people moving, that's a real DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't just like press and play and mixing. It's like, all right, cool. I need to create an experience behind the music.
Yep.
And that goes from an event producer's conversation before the event.
Right.
We teach you how to have that conversation. Like, look, man, take these people on a journey. You know what I mean?
They first do the 90s. They warm it up from the 80s to the 90s to the early 2000s.
Don't play the most lit song.
They don't play it right away.
Right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't blow the bag.
And the next time you might know they playing it again.
Yeah.
Playing it again.
Yeah. So, but again, all of that stuff starts with the event producer.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't just second guess and think that a DJ might be tired. He might be on his third or fourth event
For the night.
Yeah, you might have asked for a favor from a lit DJ and he just gonna show up and do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
You have to set the tone with the people and the DJ.
Yeah.
Look, bro, this is what they really want to hear. The last party was lit. They want you to take them from Kanye to Juvenile to TLC to Missy, then throw the trap stuff in there, then throw the Future in there.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Throw some sexy in there.
And they'll really remember those conversations because you gave them guidance.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Nah, that's crazy. That's definitely some game right there. I was just gonna ask you too. I'm like, what is one thing that could instantly kill the vibe at a party? Because it's a lot of times I go to a party and I'm like, yo, the party just started, and you see girls holding hands and they on their way to the exit, and that's discouraging. When you end the party, you just like, damn, what's wrong? What's throwing the vibe up?
Yeah.
What's throwing the vibe off at the party? Like what are some things that you see?
You know what? Vibes are transferable to any city, bro. And to get people to stay at a party, what's crazy is like, women rule the world, bro. Like, you also have to speak to them in different ways. So shout out to all my women that love a good vibe, man. You know what I mean? So I think booking female DJs, because women, it's a lot of crazy women DJs out like right now. So these are like cheat codes. Instead of the event producer bringing all the people, a female DJ, she gonna do multiple things for you. She attractive already, right? She playing the vibe. She talking more. She already brought a group of people. You know what I mean? I think also just getting into the bag of like inviting different people to come out. So inviting sororities, inviting fraternities, inviting different entrepreneurs to host. Like you got to have a bunch of different strategies in an event to keep people there. So not only respectfully is it pretty women there, that's gonna keep the people there, but it's just different crowds of people that are emerging that all got the same idea. Like, look, we came to get lit, but we came to dance. But it's these group of people that are like young adults that they're 9-to-5ers, but it's also these entrepreneurs right there. Yeah, it's also these trap guys, the dope boys that want to party. You know what I mean? And it's also these college girls. So everybody getting multiple people to host and be a part of the event. So you got to have a partner that's tied into different lanes that's somewhat social on Instagram, that's somewhat social in different rooms, so they can pull different hosts to be a part of the event. So we teach you that in the event cheat codes, that it's not just about booking the venue, right? You got to have other people on your team to go out and get people to host the event.
So how about like booking venue? Like when you go about sourcing it, how do you find like the perfect location to throw an event? Whether it might be a brunch, whether it might be a run club, or even a night party. Yeah. Like what goes into picking the venue for an event and actually making it profitable to have the event?
For sure, man. First of all, we look for venues that have the best location. That's like, location is like a safety thing, but it's also like a comfortability thing and what people trust. Yeah. So location is huge. You don't want to throw your party at a warehouse, nobody familiar with the area or the address. That's one. Two, you want to work with a venue that is down to build a relationship. Yeah, a lot of venues are somewhat selfish into what they know they bring to the table. So what I teach people with the event cheat codes is, when you reach out to them, you having a with or without you conversation.
So you're going to do it without them or with them?
Done. Yeah.
Whichever one you decide.
Whatever one you decide. Hey, look, you name dropping other venues that you've already rocked with, you've already sold out, or let's just say you somewhat new and you haven't. You still name dropping other venues that you've talked to. You know what I mean? Hey, I got this club up the street that's in line to host this event. We're just looking for the best partner to host a long-term relationship. By the way, we want to do weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly parties. We don't want to just do a one-off party. So you searching for that venue that's down to host a partnership. That's the biggest key word to all of this, is like a venue that wants a partnership. They're going to be able to give you the best deal terms, like commissions from the bar deals, food specials, all that type of stuff.
Really?
They're going to also not only want to charge you up front. A lot of venues, that's their number one key metric. Hey, look, give us $1,000, you can throw your party. But a long-term venue, they're going to believe in your concept, believe in your brand, your swag, your charisma, and they're going to say, all right, cool. We'll try you on a Thursday or a Sunday morning once a month, right? That's a venue you want to talk to, but you can't approach them timid. You got to approach them super confident with or without you conversation. And we have a template for that already in Event Cheat Codes.
Man.
Have you ever had a stressful night planning an event where it's like, damn, I don't even know how this thing is going to turn out, but then it ended up being a success?
Or like a DJ call out, photographer don't show
Last
up.
minute things.
Yeah.
Next thing you got to make everything straight. You sweating.
Hell yeah. So it just boiled down to relationships, man.
Yeah.
Like I've had some of my biggest events, DJs cancel 30 minutes before the event, an hour before the event. Imagine how you feel with that. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Again, we've hosted for 3 summers straight in LA. We hosted these brunches, right? In the summertime, it was called Lollipop, and in the fall, it's called Brunches Bay. And I'm talking about every single Saturday, okay? So from start to finish, this is like a 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. thing, right? So you got multiple DJs coming. So I do remember DJs, yo, I'm running late, I'm trying to find parking, but you got 100 to 150 females drinking mimosas ready to, like, and they on your ass.
Yeah.
They on your ass. They literally, being aggressive behind the experience that they paid for, right? Because you got some cities that'll let people just come to party and brunch for free, but in LA, you're able to curate the vibe. So they paid to get in, they paid to sit down, they paid for their section,
They pay for
they
breakfast,
paid for everything,
Yeah.
right? So the answer, bro, it's about having relationships that you've nurtured by being a good person, man. By doing good business, by tipping people, by being there for them when the money's not involved, and by being consistent. And I think being consistent, throwing consistent parties speaks for the people, but it also speaks for how your partners and peers are going to trust you. So I was able to call a few DJs and get a DJ there within 20, 30 minutes, put on a playlist, think in a moment, put on a playlist for my cell phone and curate the vibe. You always want to have playlists on your phone. It's vibey. Yeah. So those parties to date, the Brunches Bay has curated over like $150,000 or $60,000 in 2 summers, right? Just one party alone. That's just one every Saturday, what we were charging from the door and what we're making. And then Lollipop doubled that as well. So we're making hundreds of thousands of dollars from curating parties because people trust us, right? We answering their questions because they don't want those type of experience that don't move them. We gave them the experience that you could eat, drink, and catch a vibe off of this dollar amount, right? And you could trust it to be consistent.
How much money can the person make, doing the things that you do as a party promoter? Are you considered a party promoter or no? What would be like your role? There's a difference.
No, I like what you're saying because I kind of cringe at party promoter, but it is where I started, and you got to grow from somewhere. So I'm considered an event curator.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm considered fancy word for event promoter, but event curator and a brand builder, a brand owner. Like I own an event brand. So our brand started off party promoting, but we grew a brand where other promoters work for our company and run with the concept.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we set up an infrastructure.
And you give them the opportunity to make money with you.
One promoter could be super lit, super popular, or not as confident, but got good themes, right? They got good work ethic, and they come to work with our brand, Millennium Age, before the academy, and they're able to create consistent income because we know the event cheat codes.
So at this point, it's like, it's a solidified business at this point, right?
Oh yeah.
So before
this is what I've been doing for a living.
Basically,
no hobby.
Yeah, no hobby. So now you're able to hire employees, not necessarily, I say contractors, but not necessarily on payroll because I'm assuming it's by party.
Both. So,
payroll and
both. Yeah.
Wow.
So we did and still do have an infrastructure of graphic designer. You got to have somebody creating the content.
Damn, it's a lot of different moving parts.
You got an assistant. You know what I mean? You got a project manager. Because if you want to do something that's long term, it's great to go after that scale.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I would never consider myself a party promoter. And those who get started with the event cheat codes at the academy, they can come in as a party promoter, but we teach them, look, if you really want authority, if you want to host these events long term, you need to be a brand owner. Yeah, you need to be an event curator and host events behind the name of your brand.
Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to, I didn't know how to ask a question.
It's all good.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
No events.
How do you create that, especially when it comes to, curating events? How do you create that FOMO for people where they're like, nah, I gotta be there, like, because I know you said you gotta throw events in threes,
for sure.
So people anticipating certain
event
things.
series. Yeah.
So how does that create that FOMO for people?
What's easy with that, bro, is it's a few different things. One thing we do to create the FOMO is we turn the available tickets on. So we say these ticket tiers have 10 tickets left. These ticket tiers have 20 tickets left, 40 tickets left, right? And we promote the party with countdowns. We promote the party with flash sales, almost sold out. And we let people see the ticket tiers, which creates urgency. And we let people see that on the back end, we're adjusting them. You know what I mean? We might start the party off with 20 to 50 or 100 free tickets just to develop momentum. But after that, we're just selling tickets as a sales mechanism to run to the different ticket tier. Yeah. So that creates FOMO, because if you're looking at that ticket and you know that you get paid on Friday, you can't necessarily get that ticket now. You're like, damn, it went up from 15 to 30.
That'd be so funny, bro.
Yeah, it went up from 30 to 40, and it don't change.
Yep.
It ain't going back. So that's the FOMO that we create, on top of it being a creative party again, on top of us answering the question, giving the people something different. Yeah. Is this when they go to the page, is it optimized for them to create action? Yeah. And that's what we love to do behind our sales and marketing with event cheat codes, is like, look, you either get it now or you get it later. Right. But you're going to be penalized if you get it later.
So what is event cheat codes? Because I know you mentioned it a few times. Like, I know this is your program. Like, what's the main, what's the main thing behind event cheat codes? Like, what's the biggest priority for the program?
Simple. And it's a passion of mine to impact event curators. We're going to teach people the event cheat codes, which is our framework of how to host events. So we teach people how to double their ticket sales, double their knowledge, and double their attendance rate with their events in 60 days, right? We're going to teach you how to sell out your event in 60 days, and or at least make it successful where you're generating $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Nice. Within 60 days. Yeah. Right. People don't want to wait a damn year, 2 years, 3 years. Yeah. People want to know, hey, look, am I going to make money or lose money? Because people love creating community. People love getting in the room, dancing to James Brown, Kanye, whatever it is, right? But they want to know, once they put their efforts and energy into it, are they going to make money? So again, the event cheat codes is, we're going to teach you how to double your ticket sales, double your attendance rate, and the biggest thing is double your knowledge. Because once you have the knowledge, not alone is that not good enough, but you need to know how to master it. So just starting the knowledge process with the event cheat codes is going to get you to host and sold out event.
What will be like the ideal roadmap a person will go through in a program like the event cheat codes?
That's a good question. So it reminds me of our most recent student. His name is Adam. Shout out to Adam. His party promoter name is Big Lotion. To wake niggas up on Instagram. And he's one of our most lit students because he's been executed. Yeah. You know what I mean? On his second event, he's hosted a college party and has brought in $17,000, right? Just by learning the event cheat codes. So I think the most important execution steps with the event cheat codes is the marketing piece, the sales piece, and the collaboration piece. He had two other partners. One was just a flat rate partner, a young guy, he said in the city, loved what he was doing, and he was able to give him a small flat rate out of the 17,000. I don't know what it was. Right. And then the other one was a 50% partner. So with the event cheat codes, those 3 frameworks will get you to go to the moon once we teach you the sales, the marketing, and the partnership piece. And you could be just like Adam and make $17,000 off of his investment with me. And he didn't give me $17,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you're in that space, it's really important for you to go to our website, mastertheeventcheatcodes.com, and take advantage of the program, because for a nickel of what he paid us,
a nickel,
you know what I mean? A nickel of what he paid us, he generated $17,000 of gross income from a party.
How much money can a person make within a 12-month span of being a event curator?
How much money?
How much can somebody make within a 12-month span, or in a year, basically?
So our overall mission in our program is for our students to make their first $100,000 within 12 months, right? So that's really clear there, and we have students that are on pace to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because again, it's not all about what I've done. It's about the lives we're going to change by getting people to know the event cheat codes. And again, people are going to party anyway. So why not get paid to party?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, the first 100 students are going to be on pace to make their first 100,000 behind doing what they love to do. Right. So we help them bring out their purpose, their why, and behind hosting the event cheat code.
Curious question.
You mind if I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So with a person, would an introverted person, would this be a good idea for a person that's more on the introverted side, or like an extroverted kind of person where they're more social? Like, which one would this work best for?
Again, I've been behind the scenes for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would consider myself a mix of both.
Yeah.
And I still made it work. So again, like, our framework is for that person who isn't focusing on popularity.
Right.
You know what I mean? Is to let you know that, like, you could close the knowledge gap by just taking some time with our 30-hour program and just tapping in with me every 2 weeks on our lives and downloading our program. Yes, this is for the people who they are lit mentally, but they might not be lit in real world online. They don't get 1,000 likes online.
Yeah.
Okay. But I've been viral a couple times. I've had, like, again, we've worked with Spotify. We work with the Trap Museum. We work with tons of celebrities. You know what I mean? And if you pass by me downtown Chicago or New York, you might not know that I've been lit behind hosting events for 10 years. Yeah. Right? So we want to give those people the confidence that, like, yes, if you care about your why, if you care about your community, let's bottle it up and let's create success as long as you learn the event cheat codes.
Yeah. So 2 questions I had. First one was, being that you kind of seeing the numbers in the back end, you're seeing the marketing and the sales side. Who would you say spends the most money when it comes to events, men or women? And then who's the most easier to market to?
Man, that's a good ass question.
Word.
That's a good ass question, man. But yeah, just based on my experience, bro, me and my partners, and I found my success by marketing and advertising towards women, right? 100%, because they move the culture. Like, even women are attracted to other women. Women on a flyer.
That's a fact.
Yeah, women really run our world, but they run the world from an entertainment space, also from a mental space. I respect all my smart women, but what I want to communicate is that you got to find your niche. We found our niche by serving women in a certain age group. So it might not be that women might not be your niche. Your niche might be male and women. So it's no right or wrong answer to that, but it's all about doing your market research to figure it out. You know what I mean? You gotta, again, my cheat code is paying to go to the events and figuring out who's going to tap in with you, what's their experience, what's their email campaigns like, what's their on-site experience. You got to really learn what's working for you. And what was the other one?
So the second one was like 2020 pandemic.
I was
How
going to
was
ask
that?
that too. Word.
How was that?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
that-
know, because everything was shut down at that
I ain't gonna
point.
sit up here and act perfect, man. I ain't gonna sit up here and act like everything is peaches and cream. But behind running $1 million event empire, you know, we had to lean on SBA, we had to lean on PPP, but our infrastructure allowed us to host events that were private. Our infrastructure allowed us to kind of tailor towards outside events, outdoor events as well, where they weren't as strict with the pandemic. And like, you know, if you got a brand and you take a second off, people yearning for your shit. It's just almost like Thug going to jail, or you like the rapper hasn't done a concert in a long time. Like, we took a year and a half off and we came back to all our large markets like Philly, Charlotte, Chicago. Again, we've been doing these parties for a very long time. So we're having 200,000 emails behind our parties. When we said we coming back after the pandemic, it just starts smacking again. You know what I mean? And throughout that time period, it's very important for you to nurture your audience, right? So we was doing every other month, we was paying DJs to go live. You guys remember that?
Yeah, they'll go live on TikTok.
They'll go live on TikTok,
Yep.
but they would be going live with our brand, you know, with our event brand. And we would just be sponsoring that. We'd be putting out playlists with our event brand, just finding a way to engage outside of the party. And that's what real event curators do. You don't just talk to your people when it's a party. You talk to them often, you know, let them know you appreciate them, giving back and doing things of that nature.
How important is like collecting information, like the name, number, age, gender type? Like how big is that to your business?
And it's priceless. But you live and die by, you know, the amount of people. We call it in my business, like we call it just nurturing and touching and loving on the people. So you live and die by how many people you're able to influence, and you're able to serve. So yeah, on our ticketing site, yeah, we got to get, every time somebody buys a ticket, it's all name, number, email, all that type of stuff. And we take it serious, man.
Yeah.
We even take that information and we teach people in our community how to download those emails and run retargeting ads with your Facebook and your Facebook ad manager, so that you are reaching that community as well. So you're not only just talking to people who didn't go to the party, you can retarget them since they came to your party
Before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that, and we'll teach you that as well with the event cheat codes. We'll teach you how to download your list and run retargeting ads behind your list.
You know what's so cool too? Like, even as a party promoter, and I see how you can host parties in states that you're not even in. You could literally just tap into like a people that, like a source that has a whole database.
100%.
Like, all right, cool. Let me run some ads to your email list. Boom.
100%.
Now you start selling some tickets, and you're in LA. You might be selling tickets in Philly. So I see how your business model works in different places that you're not even in.
100%.
That's
bro.
dope, bro.
That's
That's
crazy.
dope.
Have you ever had to shut down a party, like, and you ended up losing money? Like,
Hell yeah.
That's a good question.
We've had the fire marshal called on us a couple times because we, you know, we've just ran out of capacity. Again, like, it's really important for you to find your niche. Our niche was and still is the silent parties. You know, but now we're in the coaching and teaching people how to find their own niche. But it's not a lot of competition that hosts the type of flavor of events with our silent parties.
Right.
So we in Chicago in a main urban market, and we throwing a silent party that has the name of 3 of the top rappers on it. You know what I mean? We're gonna sell out. If we, you know, I remember it was like a Kanye versus G Herbo versus Dirk or Chance the Rapper or something like that. Chicago edition hip hop party or trap party.
Wow.
You know, that's going up.
Yeah.
So we were able to kind of be creative behind our city's legends. And the venue held like 300 people. I think 500 people bought tickets. You know what I mean? So it's also a lesson when you know that you're creating the right vibe, increase your ticketing prices so that you don't have to do what we did. So we learn over the time so our students don't make the same mistakes. Our mistake there was that our ticketing was too low, right? And people were just eating up them $20 tickets that we looked up, and over a day or two we had 500 people at the damn party.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made 10, 12 grand, but the party got shut down and we had to refund 4,000 of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
One of them nights I'm up with my girl, like, damn, bruh, why did that happen? You know what I mean? So we want to, we not only want to inspire people, but we want to teach people from our lessons.
Right. So when it comes to like walkthroughs for a party and whatnot, because I know walkthroughs is like a big thing for a lot of rappers and celebrities and people that, you know, big influence. Most times they charging $20,000-$30,000 to walk through for like, what, 15, 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
And next thing you know, they out. Like, how can you multiply off that investment? Because you walking through for about 15, 30 minutes, they might vibe out for an hour.
Right.
How do you guys like literally maximize and make sure that you actually, you know, multiply that investment?
All the celebrities that I've worked with, and we work with a handful, man. We have them do a video, like a drop.
Like a promo?
Yeah, like a promo.
Okay.
But we make sure we set the terms up where they really share it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They be like, yeah, they won't collab it and stuff.
Exactly. So we make sure that they collab posts. We make sure that they tag the venue. We make sure that they do a few of them, right? We make sure that they're taken care of outside of the financial aspect.
Yeah.
So like picking them up, catering to them, getting them food, getting them drinks, getting them whatever they want to do before and after the party, so that they're like bought into the results of the party. You know what I mean? We also, just like I told you, we book events in threes. We also let them know, like, look, we've been a brand that's been around since 2015. So not only do we want to give you X amount of money to do this event, we got like 4 more next month. We got like 10 more next week.
Word.
Can we get that special rate?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, money talks, but value talks a lot more.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So they like, they see the mix of, all right, cool, this person's serious. This person's going to make me a lot of money, but this person's also going to expose me to other markets before the next promoter.
Yeah.
So a mix of that strategy always works.
How do you know, like, because sometimes some people might not even get them to come through. You know, like you might hire the wrong person.
Yeah.
May not be lit. Like what's like your quality? Like what qualifies a person to be like, all right, cool, we could drop $20,000 on her or him.
The biggest thing too is like, you always want to get warm introductions to celebrities or warm introductions to important people. We never go off the email. We never go off the, look, we sent you a booking inquiry. We never go off of that, because that's when you take those L's. Yeah.
Really?
Because celebrities will ghost you, or it will be a ghost page or the wrong page or something like that, or the wrong contact. So you want to make sure that you're being introduced to the right people throughout a warm conversation at all times. When you're spending that type of money, when you're booking an important host, you know what I mean? You got to make sure that your investment makes sense, but people take you seriously if they know the people on where you came from.
Right.
Yeah. So that's been our strategy with booking hosts. And again, that's not like the biggest part of our business, but with us working with Chance the Rapper, T.I., tons of other celebrities, we make sure we already have a relationship with them now. But the first introduction was always, yo, my man Maul from Chicago, yeah, he good people. He throws these type of events. He can serve you like this. You know what I mean? So that there's no confusion.
Right.
They don't double book. They don't do
Right.
none of that. And obviously have your paperwork together.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure you know you get this game out also, you know, in your community as well. How would it be, like, how would you negotiate with the venues? You know, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna make some money too.
Yeah.
So
shit, they make great money.
yeah. So
They make great money.
how do you
Yeah.
present that offer to them to make it look like, yo, you know, y'all gonna make money, we gonna make money. This is something we could consistently do in the future. How do you present that to them?
So with the event cheat codes, we tell people that it's really all about you exploring the best deal terms for both people. A lot of promoters want to start the negotiation conversation on what works best only for the promoter, and then that's when you get an experienced venue owner that's like, nah, I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? No, I've seen that before. But when you ask them the right questions on what's important to them, you know what I mean? And obviously money's the biggest thing. But one of the single best drivers of the conversation is like longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Like how long would you like us to host this party, and what numbers are you looking for? And when you start talking about longevity, then they tend to give you more for for what you really want. And the best thing you want out of these deals is like you want the venue to help you promote.
Right.
Yeah. So I ain't gonna give all the sauce out, but you really do need the venue to help you promote.
Yeah.
You want the venue to be a part of the strategy. You know what I mean? So I think asking those questions in advance, we're always a big driver, and our framework suggests that you don't pay for the venues. It's not bad to pay for venues, but leading with that with or without you conversation, leading with value, and telling people like, hey, look, we want to host events in threes. A lot of party promoters just come with one idea. Look, let me pack this joint out and go to the next club. But if you host an events in threes as an event series, the event owner's going to like, damn, Jahmal, you serious? All right, cool. First one was all right. Second one was a smash. Third one was bananas. Look, let's go crazy. Let's do this every Saturday. You know what I mean? So those are the conversations and the strategy you want to have is like long-term conversations, value. What do they really want? What type of genres do they want? What type of age group are they comfortable with? If they want a section culture, can they mesh in with the culture that you have? Yeah. So those are really huge. And man, like getting them to put up money with advertising and a DJ budget is huge too. So like I said, I ain't gonna go into all of them, but those are some of the reasons why we've been successful.
Fact. I do want to get into the numbers just before we wrap up. So for example, like how would profit on your side look? Like you throw a party, you get 500 people to show up. You still got the expenses of the DJs, the hosts, and things like that. How are you making your bag?
100% off the ticket sales, right? And when I say 100%, that's our main driver. We teach in the event cheat codes. We teach our students that you want multiple sources of income at your party. You want vendors, right? You want the ability to sell hookah. You want the ability to do some upsells with bottles, with VIP packages, with birthdays. Those are all strategies that are pretty normal. But driving ticket sales in advance is huge. You know what I mean? Having tier pricing, starting low and going high, and offering a ton of value in advance. So from a 500 capacity event, you can make an easy 10 to 15,000 by just doing it right with your ticket tiers. Yeah, you got to have your page optimized, and just really knowing what you're doing with your ticket tiers is big. And the promoter that's more popular, if you outmarket them, you're gonna win a lot more, because they're focused on bottle girl sections, all that stuff, but you focusing on people buying in advance. You focusing on what you can give for people to give back. So I think ticket sales in advance in my community and my culture is the biggest way to be financially set with hosting events.
So a person could like easily make $10,000 every weekend.
Yes, that's why I say like I give ourselves a little cushion, because some people are executors, some people like sit on the information a little bit. We know it's not a guess. Our framework will get you lit within 60 days. It's not a guess at all, because you can make 10K in one event.
If you break it down that easy, it sounds much more easier to digest. I like that.
Sure, man.
So last thing before we wrap. So now let's say, for example, we go into cities, how do we find entertainment? You go into a city you've never been to, you go into places you don't know anyone out there. How do you find a vibe out there? What's the strategy to just having a good time? You don't know any connections.
How am I finding the venue to host the event?
No, I'm saying like as a person, like for example, if I go out to Houston or I go out to LA, how would I find the vibe? Like, what's some of the places that you would say?
A lot of entertainment is like DJ culture driven. Yeah, so that's one of the number one ways to find the vibe, is to find the lit DJs. Like, you could always trust a lit DJ. You know what I mean? So usually they take their craft serious. Usually they show up on time, but they get the people moving. So people already know, like, look, this person ain't gonna play with me. The next way is to search on TikTok, Eventbrite, all that stuff.
Yeah, TikTok is big.
We make sure we have a presence on all of those. Right now, our biggest focus is TikTok. But Instagram and Facebook, just making sure you have a presence and making sure you searching for those things. But just also getting referred to the top promoters too. So either your city is promoter driven or DJ driven. It's usually not venue driven, right? Because nowadays in 2025, it's all in a curator's bag. It's all in like, all right, cool. This weekend they doing this. This weekend they doing this. But people are moving around at different venues. So to keep up with finding the right vibe, find the right DJs, find the right event promoter, right? And as long as their page is optimized and it's trusted, usually you can trust it that it's gonna be the right vibe.
Nice, nice.
And that's what we do our damn self. Like, even though I'm not able to be at all the parties, again, this weekend we got a party in Philly, we got a party in Memphis, we got a party in Houston, right? I'm in New York with y'all, going to DC with my girl tomorrow. At the end of the day, the vibe is trusted behind the content that's out there. So look for the right content that moves you. That's exactly how you gonna find the right vibe. If the content is right, and if the DJs are right and the theme is right, then it's a no-brainer.
Right. Got it.
This one was a lot of game, and I'm
glad
you mentioned the TikTok side too, because like people, that's like the top search engine right now.
We didn't went viral on TikTok like multiple times, 100,000 views just with the right content. Again, not the most followers, but just the right content.
Yeah.
So if you know the event cheat codes, you're able to like bottle up the sales, the marketing, the partnerships, but also the right content is going to leverage people to just be attracted to what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your shit just can't suck. It can't be whack. You know what I mean? So the right content on the right page is going to get you lit.
Got it. Man, Jahmal, I ain't gonna lie, you broke it down to a T, bro.
This was dope.
I've never really heard like the science behind a successful party, bro. And honestly, I'm like, yo, I always had the biggest fear. I would never throw a party because my biggest fear is like, yo,
Nobody
if
coming.
people don't come,
Yeah.
it's over. But listen, you gotta have your first one.
Now we got to host a
second
party
one
together, man. Emotion and success party.
Yo, listen, we got a crazy idea that we're working on right now. So you see how we have this podcast?
I love it, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you. People enjoy the podcast too, right? So our idea is we want to start having like live events. You know what I mean?
Smart.
Where it's kind of like a View, like you watch Oprah Winfrey show, The View.
Just conversation live.
A conversation live. You
Yeah.
know, so pretty much if we were to have an event and have people show up for a conversation like this, still be able to monetize.
Oh my God.
Make $10,000 in a night from
There
a
you
conversation.
go. There you go.
And on the podcast and the monetizer side on YouTube too.
Multiple
So,
streams. It's super
multiple.
engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You guys are gonna create community in that moment too. It's gonna be. You guys are gonna have people that are lined up and want to be a part,
Yeah.
be in the room. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother stream.
Yeah. We
Fact,
definitely gonna have to work together on that for sure.
Let's do it.
Might have some bottle girls. No, I'm joking.
Doing the conversations. and stuff.
Word.
That's dope.
But yeah, so tell the people how they can tap in with you, what you got going on. I know you got the program you running right now, the event cheat codes.
Absolutely.
Tell them how to tap in.
Absolutely. Look, if you're an event curator and you know you deserve to host successful events and consistent events, you know that you deserve to make your first $5,000 to $10,000 behind hosting events, right? Download mastertheeventcheatcodes.com, right? And we got a special gift for you. It's a motion and success gift. You know what I mean? We got a motion and success gift. So go ahead and go to the page, and we're going to give you guys a big discount for tapping in with my guys right here. So
Let's get it. Let's
tap
go.
in motion 15, and you guys will receive that big discount. But look, let's sell out your next event, man, and let's win.
Yeah.
So can people tap in with you even if they're not like on the side? They want to have an event and you can curate the vibe.
Absolutely, we
And
can partner.
So both sides.
Yes.
Okay. All right,
Absolutely.
cool.
So you can follow us at the Millennium Academy or on my personal page at Jmeezy.
So we're gonna drop all the links down below and definitely tap in. There's a lot of game in this one, y'all.
This
Lot
is
of
fun.
game.
Lot of
Lot
game,
of
bro.
game.
I
Lot of
appreciate
game.
y'all.
Yes, sir. So listen, guys, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe. I see you guys on the next episode. This was definitely an amazing podcast. Glad you guys made it through to the end. And also, don't forget, share this with a friend. Somebody actually might need this information. So I see you guys on the next one.
Peace. y'all.
Peace.